Let me tell you a simple story. Two brothers lived in a city. Straightforward, sure shotgun and the clever quick gun Murugan.
Straightforward, sure shotgun and the clever quick gun Murugan.
Electric wiring was their game, which they did for money and fame.
Which they did for money and fame.
Though both did the same work, one was professional, other a big jerk.
One was professional, other big jerk.
Once a client came to Murugan and told him what was to be done. What he wanted was quick action. Budget, he said, was not a problem.
Money, oh money.
Hey, Murugan found this very thrilling and he thought of making a killing. Big stories he told the customer and cornered the foolish burger.
Corner the foolish burger.
And what about shotgun? He too was approached by someone who explained the work to be done. And when he opened the briefcase, shotgun said, "Oh sir, please wait." Stop, stop, stop.
Hey, shotgun, what are you thinking? Come on, grab it, my boy. Look, look, look. Take it, take it, take it. Come on.
Sir, please listen to me. Before starting the work, consider calmly. Please do not act in haste, or else your efforts just might go waste. Take advice from an electrical consultant. Draw up a proper plan before you begin. Good morning, madam. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Having taken the advice of the electrical consultant, your duly licensed electrician is at your service. Let's begin with the kitchen.
Okay.
Oh, madam. You can start from anywhere you like. What difference it makes? It is all within the home, isn't it? Madam, in your kitchen there are some items you will find necessary, such as an exhaust fan, a fridge, microwave, mixer, water purifier, etc. And it is important, while planning, to think also of the future needs. Your requirements are bound to increase in next 10 to 15 years. So it is better to decide upon the number of electrical points for each room now itself.
But can't we do that later?
If you do it later, then your interior work may get damaged. And you will end up spending much more. As advised, I am going to install 13 points in the kitchen. Madam, you know what? According to me, kitchen is needed mainly for cooking. Why bother about anything else? We'll see about that later. What is the big hurry, huh? So I have assessed all your requirements for the master bedroom and I have arranged accordingly. There will be 13 points here also.
And the AC?
AC? In this winter season, madam? I'll get it fixed in summer. I have arranged for putting up 13 points in the children's bedroom also. Let's go to the living room. You should decide in advance about the color and the design and the type of switches you would like to use so that you can plan for the same now itself.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I just hadn't...
Thought about it at all.
For the main door, I have arranged for 4 points.
Why so many at the door?
Madam, you'll be surely using a security system, isn't it?
Huh.
Living room will have 17 points and for the bathroom etc. I have arranged for 9 points. The entire wiring for the house will be divided into single-phase circuit or 3-phase circuit, standby DC circuit and the telecommunication circuit, all encased in separate conduit pipes. We shall go by the electrical consultant's advice for this. The fridge, answering machine, security system, backup battery, charger etc. will be on for 24 hours. The circuit that will include the lights and fans can be shut off while going out.
And if there is a power cut?
There's no need to worry. When electricity fails, the standby DC circuit will start functioning and all the lights and fans etc. connected to it will work normally.
We were not aware of all these things.
Sir, actually in our country some laws have already been made. For example, the Electricity Act 2003 and the rules and regulations framed under it for dealing with these matters. Another one is the Energy Conservation Act 2001 to help us save electricity. And of course, we have the Indian standards specifying the level of quality. We strictly follow all these regulations. There are no laws at all, madam. It's like this. It is for us to decide what to do. And that becomes the law. That's all. Madam, the two most important requirements in any house are water and electricity. But most people try to save money by compromising on these two items. And instead spend large amounts on decorative things like painting, flooring and fancy fittings. The major cause of domestic fire accidents are faulty electrical work or not using standard switches, cables and equipment in the wiring or not following the laid down regulations. It is essential, therefore, to follow the laws I just mentioned and strictly adhere to the safety regulations prescribed by the Bureau of Indian Standards and to use the best quality material. Please come.
Good morning,
How
sir.
are you, Shyam?
I'm fine, sir. I'm glad to hear the things he's been telling us.
That's all very fine. But what about the right hand side of the menu card?
I have made the calculations after considering all your requirements. And here is the total cost of your job.
This is far too much. My brother paid much less for the work done at his place.
And very soon they started facing all sorts of problems. Do you remember? I will not make any compromises where the safety of my family is concerned. The extra spending is absolutely worthwhile.
Madam, please understand. This is not just a question of money. It is also a question of quality. It is very important to ensure complete safety and to follow the electrical consultant's advice in this regard. For this, every room shall have an independent electrical circuit. Equipment which require heavy loads such as AC, geyser, heater, iron, etc. will be put on a separate circuit. There will also be a separate circuit for equipment which can be switched off when you are going out. All these independent circuits will be linked to the MCB. And taking into consideration your present and future needs, extra points are being provided in all the rooms, so that there is no overloading. As per the electrical safety regulations, we shall use the ELCB so that you are protected from electrical shocks. And we shall follow correct earthing practices. Trust me, your house is in perfectly safe hands. I can manage everything, madam, everything! Except the rising prices. Just let me know when to start. I will do a good job. I never do a wrong job. So, sir, you have seen my work. Please tell this madam.
All right. Let it be. Let him do the work. At least we can avoid all the headaches.
So we shall adhere to the standards like those in the National Building Code of India 2005 and make use of ISI approved copper cables only.
Hello. Please give me the wires and the accessories as per this list.
Sure, just a moment.
What is this junk? I want only the multi-stranded copper cables as per the Indian standards, manufactured by the reputed and trusted companies like
Anchor, KEI, Polycab, RR Cable, Phenolix.
What is this Indian standards? I haven't heard of it before.
Indian standards means ISI mark. Don't you know this?
Of course I know that.
And ensure that all the copper wires are as per the metric system like 1.5 square mm, 2.5 square mm, 4 square mm, 6 square mm and 10 square mm only.
First planning, then purchasing, and now safety precautions. The Electricity Act 2003 has laid down some important regulations. Wiremen and electricians must follow these in the course of their work. They must be fully acquainted with the job which they have been entrusted. All the instruments required to be used must be in proper condition. It must be ensured that all kinds of safety equipments like gloves, rubber shoes, safety belts, helmets, ladders, line testers, face shields are kept properly and are easily available at all times so that electrical and mechanical injuries are avoided. To prevent electrical accidents while working with live wires, it is important to make use of proper safety equipment. And yes, the work must be carried out under the guidance of an electrical consultant and under the watchful eye of a competent electrical supervisor. In case there is any apprehension of danger, do not succumb to any pressure to begin the work. Do not wear wet or damp clothes while working with live wires. Always wear cotton clothes and avoid wearing ornaments and watches. While working with live wires, the LOTO system, that is, lockout, tagout system must be followed. Along with this, do not open, do not start, do not close labels must also be used. While working at heights, always use a wooden ladder or an automated mechanical ladder. Such work must always be done in the presence of an electrical supervisor. All the engineers and workmen who work with live wires must be acquainted with the CPR life-saving technique. The names of wiremen, electricians, electrical supervisors and also the names of helpers must be entered in the register maintained by the electrical contractor. Certain regulations have been framed under the Electricity Act 2003. According to these, a wireman must possess an electrical work permit, an electrical supervisor must possess an electrical supervisor license, and an electrical contractor must possess an electrical contractor license. Never begin any electrical installation in the absence of these licenses. If you do, you will be violating the Act, the rules, and the regulations. And now we move on to installation. Always use electrolytic copper wiring as per Indian standards. This means pure copper wire. As you know, wiring can be done in many ways. Electrical consultants most often suggest concealed type of wiring as it is more safe and elegant. Telephone, fax, data cabling should be done using separate conduit pipes. Concealing should be made fairly deep in the wall so that the exterior surface is preserved and any damage to the wall is avoided. First of all, decide exactly where all the switchboards will be fitted. While doing so, washing machine, AC, fridge and oven-like equipment should not be forgotten. Be cautious while inserting the cables into the conduits. Tie a steel wire to the cable and pull it gently. Take care that its insulation is not damaged. Wherever the wiring has to be given a turn, make use of a rectangular bend to prevent any damage. For this, IS 732, Section 2, 1983 should be read and fully understood. When you refer to IS 732, you will learn how many cables of any given size can be inserted in a particular conduit. You must remember, wires are always bent, they are coiled up and they are tied, and then pulled through conduit pipes. Therefore, these wires must be extremely flexible. Always go in for multi-stranded electrolytic copper wires, which are both stronger and more flexible. However, for earthing and telephone circuits, you can make use of single-strand wire. Let's take a look at the phase color codes. As per the RYB code, R means the red cable, Y means the yellow cable and B means the blue cable. Always use black cable for the neutral and green for the earthing. You must follow this color code as per the Indian standards. The National Building Code of India 2005 suggested that the minimum size of the copper wire to be used should be 1.5 square mm. This will enhance your safety. Try to use cables which are one size larger. This will help to minimize the chances of fire in the event of a short circuit and overloading. It is advisable to use wires of 6 square mm from the meter to the main distribution board. From the main distribution board or the sub-distribution board to different rooms, and for heavy load equipment such as AC, geyser, grinder, washing machine, oven, etc., use 4 square mm wires. For medium load items such as TV, refrigerator, computer, music systems, wire of 2.5 square mm, and for light load items such as bulbs, fans, tubes, use 1.5 square mm wires. Follow the guidelines given in this regard in Part 8 of the National Building Code of India 2005 Building Services. Due to incorrect joints and loose joints and terminations, the temperature may rise and consequently a fire may occur. Hence, ensure that all joints and screws are properly tightened. All the switches, terminations, lamp holders, plugs and sockets must have an ISI mark. Always remember, all the switches must be in phase and use only shutter sockets. Do not use extra force to push the plug into the socket. And the most important thing, if the plug pins are not properly inserted into the socket, there is a danger of sparking and this may cause holes at that point. Always install a good number of 3-pin sockets. Do not use 2-pin sockets for equipment for which earthing is necessary. Proper earthing is most essential for household wiring, but sadly it is also the most neglected. IS 3043 has laid down a code of practice for this. Let us take a look at a model of efficient earthing as suggested by the IS 3043, the National Building Code of India 2005 and the ICPCI. A pit 3 meter deep and 90 centimeters square is dug. A copper plate of 60 by 60 centimeters is placed at the bottom. This acts as an earth electrode. The thickness of this copper plate should not be more than 3.18 mm. Right in the center of the plate, a copper pipe is fixed with the help of a brace or bolts. Remember that since the plate is of copper, the pipe, bolt nut and washer all must be of copper. 2 copper strips which are 6 mm thick and about 3 to 4 cm wide are then braced or bolted onto the copper plate. 1 more copper strip is bolted or braced onto the copper pipe and the 2 strips. Holes are drilled in the copper pipe at various angles, which help in spreading the water and keeping the earth moist. The earth plate is kept upright in the pit and coal, soil and salt are filled in up to 90 centimeters, taking care that the layers of coal and salt are of 15 centimeters each. This lowers the resistance of the earth and results in a better electric flow. On the top of the earth plate, a funnel made of mesh is affixed. The entire pit up to this funnel is then filled with red or black soil or with murum. This helps to retain the moisture in the soil. Next, for safety purposes, a chamber is prepared below the ground level around this mesh funnel and it is covered with a GI plate. To measure the resistance of the earth, an earth tester or earth megger is used. As demonstrated, C1 and P1 terminals are connected together and then connected to the earth electrodes. Next, terminal P2 is connected to the spike which is at a distance of 25 meters from the earth pit. Terminal C2 is connected to another spike which is placed at a distance of 50 meters from the earth pit. Then the handle of the earth megger is rotated at a speed of 160 rpm. The dial of the earth megger displays the earth resistance. The earth resistance should always be between 1 ohm and 3 ohms. Now let us pay attention to some other important things. Lugs should be used for the terminations of multi-stranded cables. This will prevent the strands from getting cut and will ensure proper electrical conductivity. While working on the slab, take adequate precautions to see that the wall has been shown properly in the plan after taking into account the position of the beam. Conduit pipes should be concealed either perpendicular to the ground or in a horizontal position, never diagonally. This will help in locating the concealed conduits after the wall has been completed. To prevent any mishap while carrying out the interior work, it is advisable to keep photographs of the conduits handy. The conduit pipe should be covered with a chicken mesh. This will prevent the plaster from cracking. If electrical and civil work is properly coordinated, it becomes easier to decide about the finished levels of the electrical box and the junction box. To determine the size of the switchboards, you must first decide upon the type of switches you wish to install. Once the size of a switchboard is determined, fix it in the wall first and insert the conduits only after that. While conduiting, take care to avoid places like the toilet sunk and other such places where leakage of water is likely to occur. As per the National Building Code of India 2005, a uniform color code will be applicable for conduits as well as the wires being used in a particular job. This will facilitate in recognizing the wires at the time of repairs and renovation. The color code will be depicted either by a stripe or by the color of the conduit itself. The color scheme for the wires is as follows: power conduit black, security conduit blue, fire alarm conduit red, UPS conduit green, low voltage conduit brown. Certain things are needed to be done after the installation is over. Insulation resistance test, polarity test, earth continuity test and earth electrode test are conducted after the electrical work is over. The results of all these tests are recorded in a test report called the Form of Completion Certificate and submitted to an officer or engineer of the electricity company before proceeding any further. As per the National Building Code of India 2005, the energy meters should be so installed that they are clearly visible and the readings can be taken easily. These meters should be at least 1 meter above the ground level. The energy meters should always be kept in a protective covering, either fully encased in glass or kept safely behind a closed door. In keeping with international developments, IEC has suggested revising the nominal system voltage from 240 by 415 volts to 230 by 400 volts with a tolerance of plus or minus 10%. The Indian standards for some of the instruments are as follows: insulated pliers IS 3650-1981, electric screwdriver IS 844-1979, nose long pliers IS 3552-1989, circular pliers IS 7989-1976, wire stripping and jointer IS 6118-1991, screwdriver kit IS 5579-1985, 3-in-1 tester IS 5579-1985, Phillips head screwdriver bit IS 12168 Part 2 1987, socket type spanners IS 7975 Part 2 1991. Good work, Shyam.
शुक्रिया साहब.
Always remember one thing. One cannot do good work just by rushing things or merely by thinking. One has to put in a lot of effort to do a decent job.
This poor family is suffering heavily while the other one is happy and carefree, happy and carefree, happy and carefree, happy and carefree.
This public service announcement was brought to you by International Copper Promotion Council, India.